Okay, what's up? I wanted to talk about why I make YouTube videos real quick as a entree to the idea of this video. So first I want to kind of make sense to people. I make YouTube videos so that I can brag, and I make YouTube videos so that I can record my ideas for future use, and so that I can refine my ideas so that they can be expressed easily uh, when I have the presence of mind and the right situation to express a given idea. Whew! Sometimes it's hard to speak with so many clauses and so many weird words with weird pronunciations. And so I need YouTube in order to record my thoughts long enough to start to evolve my thoughts about my thoughts. So that's why I YouTube so hard. I YouTube hard. This video actually, though, is about Oneian in Hunigrimal. And so if you don't like Hunigrimal, tune out, I guess, but you should like it because it's bringing reason to mathematics, specifically to number names, which is an amazing accomplishment that only humanity can ever take credit for. If you want to look at advanced number theory with dolphins, you'll end up counting splashes, and that's about as far as it goes. No, humans are the only people that think about numbers, and that's such an accomplishment, and it's such a big deal that there's a question: what's more important to society, math or comedians? Now, comedians are so important because they're hilarious and we love them, but math lets us live. Math is how And so math is how we do everything, science, etc., etc. Math is a huge part of our lives, and comedians don't have to be. Comedy is natural. It bubbles up. It's not a top-down comedian to the world experience. It's an everybody getting a thought that is silly. That's what comedy is. And if you dress it up, you get things like Jerry Seinfeld. Anyway, I'm done with that, but I've talked about that in another video. I want to talk about Oneian, which is 10,000 in Hanimal. So Oneian is kind of like 1 million in that after you get 1 million, you go on to 1 billion and then 1 trillion, and you start a new way of counting. 1 quadrillion, and we borrow from other languages. 1 quintillion, 1 hexillion, 1 septillion. Now, 1 septillion is huge. There's a ton of zeros to it. I don't know how many zeros are in 1 septillion. I guess 7 times 3 is 21 zeros. But it might be 24 because you start at 1 million, which is 2 groups of 1,000, which has nothing to do with 1 through 99 or even 1 through 10. I don't know if you gather this idea. I really want to express it though, because in Hunigrimal, you have a Sevian for that number system, and a Sevian is 10,000 Oneian done 7 times. And Oneian is 4 zeros. Doing it 7 times gets you to 28 zeros. A Sevian is 28. Now, what is a septillion? It's a giant monster. Sept? Nobody thinks sept is not a septic word. Sept isn't 7. Sevian sounds Sevinish. Okay, so I think that that's like a concept train of thought that is so valuable that I can't wait to teach kids about Hunigrimal, but I may never get that opportunity. So let me at least teach you and the future self of me that comes back to this kind of video to watch it, about what's going on there. So what I think is going on is you need to group numbers, and you need to group powers of numbers in order to get a larger range of numbers that you can deal with. And so initially, we had three numbers, 1, 2, and many. But we've evolved a great deal from there to our cyborg reality in 2019. We have come a long, long way from 1 to many. We got 1, 2, 3. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 10, 11, 12. We got 100, 200, 301. We have more concepts, mathematical concepts, than any other jargon that exists. And everybody, no matter how much they hate math or pretend that they don't know it, has mastered this jargon. If they have a healthy brain, there's levels of innumeracy, but one of them is deeper innumeracy if you don't even understand 0 through 9. Those words, those separate words. And then on to 10, 11, 12. All the way up to 99. And then we start breaking the rules. And we switch to 100. Because that's when our words force us to. In Honegrammal, you're not forced to get new numbering systems until 10,000. Because our brain allows for two number concepts in a packet, and that packet can express a number to us in the realm of thought that we all live in. So a one-ian is like 100 or 1,000. It is the point at which you've already gotten to nin nin. Nin nin is 9,999. But you're at one-ian now. Like 1,000, it's a grouping. And so in decimal, 1,000 is the first grouping, then 1,000,000 is the next grouping, and then 1,000,000,000 is the third. The third is bi. How un-American is that? The third should be tri, not bi. You should try to be bi if you've never had a homosexual or heterosexual thought. Try being bi. Because I've got stuff to sell. If you try bi, I know you will appreciate my merchandise. Hilarious. And that's all jokes are. That's like the height of jokes right there. It was hilarious. Absolutely no laughter. I'm sure. Or I'm not. I don't care. What am I talking about? Nin nin is the 99 of Honegrammal, and one-ian is the first. It's the 10,000 mark, but it's also the first segment, which makes sense because it's one-ian. Zoian is having nothing at all in a segment. It is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 10,000s. I hope you can perceive what I'm saying there. One-ian is smarter because two-ian is the second grouping. And two-ian is 10,000 raised to the second level, which happens to be a billion. Now from billion, what is the next grouping? What is three-ian? Three-ian is billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, trillion, 10 trillion, 100 trillion. So a two-ian is 10,000. No, one-ian is 10,000. A two-ian is 100 billion. It just blows my mind over and over, and I might not be the best at expressing it so that you can understand, but I desperately want people to gather that concept and work with me on it because I believe it gives a more sensible numbering system, which is a revolutionary thought for human beings. It actually would be a big deal. And if we did it, I'd become a Wikipedia member and I'd feel really legit in my life. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to go now. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.